Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of Thursdays with Abby. And today we have a very special guest with us today. This is Courtney. She is a registered nurse at Children's Hospital, and she also has Spina Bifida, and like myself. And so we wanted to come on here today and talk with her for a little bit. Can you tell us how what your journey was to become a nurse with a spina bifida, or with a?
It was quite a journey. That's what it was. So the normal track is about 2 to 3 years. Just depends on your track. I took almost about 3 years to finish my track, and I had to stop about 3 times to take surgery, to have surgeries to fix everything and goes on. But I always told myself I had to heal myself before healing others, and that's what I did. And I graduated finally, and I got the job. I'm actually working at the hospital where I've had 50 surgeries, and not just working there, but I'm in the ORs, the exact ORs that I had surgeries with. But now I'm on the other side, and I got to work alongside one of my surgeons also, so it was really cool to experience.
Okay, so being 25, being 25 and having spina bifida, and working in a hospital, I read your story, and I know you said that you had kind of a hard time with people telling you that you couldn't do stuff.
Yes.
And yes, so do I. Yeah. And what motivated you to say, yes, I can, and be able to say, I can be an OR nurse and still have a disability?
I just have to thank my mom and then my twin sister also. They were my #1 supporters since the beginning, and they always told me, you can do it. And I grew up not knowing I was different. I grew up just as a normal kid, and I knew I had to have surgeries to get better. And I was like, well, I want to do everything else, what my twin does and what my friends do too. So I'm just like, well, I might have to do it a little bit differently or take a little longer. But I did it. Like, I did cheerleading, I played softball for a little bit also, and I love to volunteer. So I did a lot of volunteering when growing up, and Children's was my #1, and Shriners Hospital is also where I grew up also. And I just don't let people tell me no. I don't take no well. And I just go for it, because I know people struggle just doing normal things, and I want to show people who have more chronically issues that you can do it just as a normal person. We can do anything. You might just have to do it a little bit differently than everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know you actually are a part of this book.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about this book and how you became a part of this book?
All right. So the author is Tim Berg. I am a part of the Spina Bifida adult group on Facebook, and that's how I met him and so many wonderful other people. And he wanted to write a book about his own son, and he did. So I had some on a cover. It's called Born Twice, Voices of Spina Bifida, and it has over 120 different stories all over the country, and actually a couple international. And it's mainly about the kids, but there's a couple like me, we say SB adults, and we get to tell our story about growing up with Spina Bifida. And then here's my page. And I just wrote a brief entry of what it was like with Spina Bifida. I worked at Six Flags for 5 years, and how I had to go through that. I was like, I want to work. And my doctor's like, well, you have to stand a lot. And I was like, well, I want to be a nurse. I have to stand too, so I'm going to learn how to stand all day. And I did. I wear my brace, and it helps me stand, and I worked on balance and strength training during PT, OT, all about that fun stuff. That still do. So I did it, and I know that helped me a lot with wanting to be on my feet all day, and I did it. And so the only thing I have to add is I did graduate, and I did get a big girl job as a nurse.
So what is one thing that you could tell our viewers that a lot of our viewers have a disability, and what is something that you can motivate them if they wanted to get a job out in the community and they're afraid to, or people tell them no, what is some advice you can give them?
I would say to reach out to someone that will motivate you. I try my best not to hang around with negative people because they're just going to say no, no, no. And you can do it. It might take you a while, or if you want that one job and they keep telling you no, try to find something different or something alternative for the meantime, but keep going at it. With me, with nursing, I had to go around. I tried having a nursing home job, but that was way too much for my body. And so then I backed up, and then I was like, okay, so my mom's a teacher, so I worked with her for a little bit, and then I got my nursing job, and here I am. Six Flags also helped me with just personal skills, dealing with the public, and just standing all day and all that. And I was actually a supervisor for about 3 years, so that helped me being in a role of leadership and everything. So you can do it. Just push yourself and work around the struggles you might have, but you can do it.
Yay. Well, I'm done. So I know you have a favorite motto, and what is that?
Just keep swimming. Yes. It's from, if anyone doesn't know where that motto came from, it's from Finding Nemo. It's my favorite movie, and Just Keep Swimming. Dory says it, but my favorite character is Nemo because he has a little fin. And I say, oh, I have a little fin too. My left leg's a little bit smaller, and I wear my brace on my left leg. And anyone who just has a little bit differences in them, you can just keep saying you just kept swimming, you just kept going forward. Like Nemo, he just kept trying to find his dad. He kept going and going, and he finally did it. And that's what I did with nurse school, just anything in life. I just kept going, and that was just my main motto.
So what, if you don't mind talking about it, I know when I read your story, you have had 71 surgeries.
Yes.
Which is crazy. I've had 10, and
that's a lot.
But what would you mind talking a little bit about your journey with that and kind of some of the surgeries you've had?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up not knowing I was different. I knew I had to have surgeries to get better. So if you do the math, I've had about 2 surgeries each year because I'm 25. So most of them, actually all my surgeries are from the belly button down. So most of them are for legs, feet, back, and then bowel and bladder surgeries just to fix everything up. Most of them were ortho, so to help me walk better, to get rid of sores or the aches and pains I was having. So that was a majority of them. And then my bladder surgeries, which can come with Spina Bifida, was to help when I grow to make it bigger because I was born without a bladder, so they had to keep building it to make an adult bladder.
With you and I both having Spina Bifida, would you mind kind of defining what that is and what kind of what we go through?
So there's 2 forms. The most severe form, which most people with Spina Bifida have, is myomeningeal, and it's when your vertebrae and cord are out. So I'm gonna use this as a reference. So right here, he has a scar, and his vertebrae was outside. It's supposed to be inside, so it's protruding outward when he was born. So with what he had, which a lot of people can do now, is in utero surgery, and so they fixed it before he was born, hence why born twice. So it's supposed to help babies not either have as many difficulties as we've gone through, or decrease the chance of any issues. Yeah, so the second type, I forgot the name, but it's basically the cord is not out in the sac when you are born. It's still intact, but there's just an exposure, so the skin is it's like a bump.
Yeah, mine was the first.
The first one?
The first. Whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
myomeningeal, that's
yeah,
what most
that's
people
what I have.
Yeah, that's what I have also.
Hey. Wait.
A lot of people, especially kids, they just ask, are they going to be able to walk with a certain level they have? Because with spina bifida, it can happen anywhere in the spinal tract. It's more common to happen, I believe, at like the T to L levels. I think mine's like L5, I'm not too sure. So that's the main common question. Or when they do have bowel and bladder disorders, if they're going to be like okay when they have bladder augmentation surgeries. how long is recovery with bowel surgeries, recovery-wise, is it okay if they do certain things? And I always say they can do whatever they feel like it. As long as it's safe, but everything is usually safe. That's a lot of the main questions, just, the what is, trying to calm all their worries down with having a chronically ill child.
How long have you been a nurse?
I just started in July.
Have you, being at the Children's Hospital, have you dealt with children with?
I have, and I just love meeting those kids. Yeah, so we deal with a lot, just with a lot of my disabilities. That's my favorite. Actually, kids to meet, and my most favorite is she came in to have one of the surgeries I've had. She was just getting lengthening of the hamstrings, so you just cut the hamstrings and make them longer so they're not as tight, so you can walk a little bit better. And she had her braces on, and I have mine on, but with my scrubs you can't really see it. So I call it hidden quality. That's what hidden quality I was looking for. And so I was telling her, like, oh, I like your braces. She's like, yeah, they're really cool. And then I showed her mine. She's like, you have one too. And I was like, you're a nurse? I was like, yeah. And I also have spina bifida. She's like, oh my goodness. She's like, I want to be a nurse. I'm like, yes, you can. So that's my favorite thing. Just to show kids that they can still do it, even though they just like, oh, I can't do that. You walk in and stand into my smash. It's no problem. You can still do it. My favorite thing is to give parents hope. That is just what I just love to do, just why I tell my stories, to give them hope that they are able to still do whatever, to still have those extraordinary dreams, or they want to be a doctor, they want to be a nurse, or even an artist, actor, whatever they want to do, they can still do it. And they might go through all these struggles, but I tell them just a little bit about me, and they're like, oh, well, if you can do it, my kid can do it also. So that's what my favorite thing is to do.
I know you said you were in a couple of Facebook groups for people with spina bifida. Can you tell us about those and about those groups?
Yeah. So the two that I can think of that I'm in is spina bifida with adults, and then I think it's spina bifida parents, or parents with spina bifida. And the one with the parents is obviously they have their kiddos and they have spina bifida, and they ask other parents, and there's a couple of us who have spina bifida, and so I'll chime in saying, hey, this is what I went through, this is what we did, so hopefully this helps. And then with adults, people like me or even older, they're going through adult issues, you still have a kid, and the main issue, maybe you also agree, is finding a doctor or doctors that understand spina bifida as an adult.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen.
Very frustrating. So that's what we all, it's a good group to vent, but also like chime in and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Am I the only one? So it's just nice to know, you're not the only one struggling with these issues. There's a lot of us out there. Thank goodness for social media.
Exactly.
From just my perspective, I feel like doctors, to me, they forget we grow up or still live on past, 18, 25, because I'm still at my children's hospital because my urologist will keep me, thank goodness. But other than that, I call it the adult world. I'm trying to transition over. It's a struggle finding doctors, but they forget we grew up, or a lot of the back doctors I've been trying to find is, when was your injury? I've had it my whole life. So, and when I say spina bifida, they're like, oh, well, we don't deal with that, or we don't know how to help you. So, it's a lot of unknown, and I can't help you, but I'm trying. All trying.
But yeah, go check out her book, and check this book out, and thank you for coming on with us today, and I've been looking forward to this for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
And but is there anything that you would like to say, or?
I would just say, if you have any issue or disability, if it's okay to say that, you're welcome to contact me either through Facebook. We can put a link or whatever and message me. I'm more than welcome to talk to you, to try to encourage you or figure out what we can do to figure out, job-wise, or even, relationship, family, or whatever you're going through. I've been through it all, or if I haven't, I have friends also that I'm like, hey, I have this person. Let's talk and figure out this wonderful journey together.
All right, well, thanks for coming on with us today, and it was so nice meeting you,
Yeah, it was nice
and hopefully we'll be able to talk again, and but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I will see you guys next week for another episode of Thursdays with Abby. Bye, guys.